Hey y'all, today we're going to talk about how to build a marketing strategy around your personality. I love this conversation because it's something that we work through in Fearless Fundamentals. Of course, I also work on this with my one on one clients because what I've noticed is that if you're not excited to talk about your business, then either one of two things is happening. Either you're not 1,000% sold with confidence, that means you have a lot of confidence, you know that you can help people. So if you feel like you can help people and you love your offers, then you're excited to share that. And now, if you do feel that way and you're still not sharing it, then it's probably because you're trying to market. So really just talk about your business, the problems that you solve in a way that doesn't really match up with your personality. So the amazing thing about marketing is that any strategy will work if you work it. But where it gets complicated is when we look at social media or we, follow different people's advice. So something that worked for one person, they're probably teaching that. And they're like, this is the thing, this is the way to do this, right? That doesn't mean it's the thing for you. So big, huge dose of permission here to find what works for you. So the key things about a strategy that will work for you is that it's something that you enjoy, because if you enjoy it, then you're actually going to show up and do it. And it's the consistency that's always going to get you results. So where I like to start with this is, how do you like to build relationships in your normal real life way? Do you love going to networking events? Are you the kind of person who likes to work a room? So I would say that's my husband. He's like that. Like, he never meets a stranger. He's just like an extroverted person. I'm more of a like one-on-one build relationships. So if my husband and I were at a party, for example, he would like talk to every single person in the room. I would try to find, like 5 people or so that I could have a more in-depth conversation with. And I would have these like 3 little groups of people that I would talk to the entire night. And it's just a different kind of style, right? And so when you know what really works for you, it makes marketing your business so much easier. So I think that that's always a really good place to start. You can look at the things that you've done and see, what did you like? So I wouldn't say that I don't like networking events. I do, but I have my own style of the way that I like to work these events, right? And you can do the same thing. So think about, in your business, where have you liked to show up? How did it feel natural? And you really, that's a good place to start. So I'm going to give you an example of a way that you could do this. And this is not saying like this is the only way to do this. It's just that this is a way that you can really take marketing tactics and make them your own. So marketing is all about, marketing has these 3 parts. So it's like a 3-layer cake. First, there's attracting. So attracting these new leads. So if you think about going to that networking event, showing up in a place where there are lots of opportunities, right? And then the second part of that is actually the introduction. So if you're my husband, you're introducing yourself to everybody in the room. If you're me, you're probably finding a few select groups of people who look like they would be easy to talk to, and starting from there. And online, it works the exact same way. So you may get on Instagram, for example, and reach out to a whole bunch of different people. And you may be more like me, who kind of like picks a few people to be that are really specific and engages them in a conversation. It really works the same way. So think about your style. And then, of course, we're building our businesses online too. So you can really do either one of those things. I have some clients who do very little marketing online, and they're really more of an in-person person. And we just create a strategy around that. And then I have other clients who do most of their networking online. So maybe like 80% of their networking online. So generating leads, creating relationships with clients. And then maybe like 20% of that is in real life. I think a lot of people really had to adjust their style, and it was so much harder for some people than others with COVID. And again, that's why it's so important to think about how you like to build relationships, like what really feels natural to you. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a layout that most of my clients really like. So first, kind of figuring out where you want to be and how you want to show up. This means that if you don't love doing reels and like dancing and pointing in front of the camera, that's okay. If you freaking love reels and it seems like the most fun, easiest thing you've ever done, do that. If you love podcasting, start a podcast. If you don't. If you love to communicate, with groups of people and really build community, then maybe a Facebook group is right for you. If you love being in groups, but you don't like the responsibility of cultivating conversations or curating conversation, then maybe you're just really great at being a participant in those groups. So many different options. So really think about where you like to show up, how you like to build relationships, and then try this really simple strategy about nurturing, because I think that the biggest misconception about sales is, one, what it is. So we are never, and sales is marketing, right? They really go hand in hand. They're all part of a similar process. Marketing is how you tell people about your business, but the result is always that you want sales, right? You're not just telling people about your business because you don't need customers. So marketing to get sales. So sales is about helping people. It is not about forcing someone to do something that they don't want to do, which is why you want to first show up in the right places. So whatever is working for you, make sure that you are using your personality, how you like to build relationships, where you like to show up, whether that's Instagram. Maybe you love Instagram, but you don't like Reels. So you can find another way to make whatever it is work for you. It's not about fitting into something that is the right way to do it. It's about figuring out how to do it where it really works for you. I'll give you a really good example. I love to dance, and my daughter and I, we have a jam session on the way to school every day, get her all hyped up. It's her first year of kindergarten. I want her to feel really good. And I also believe that that's a great way to set your vibration for the day. You guys know I love that too. But I don't want to do it in real. It's just not my thing. I definitely watch them and enjoy the entertainment of watching someone else, but it's not really for me. So, knowing that I do like Instagram, I don't like to do Reels, I know that I love to share quick actionable tips. So what I did was started making Reels, and I sat down and did a ton in, an hour or so. It's taking tips, quick actionable tips from these videos. So I'm not even creating new content here, and putting it in a Reels format. And, I'm testing it. I can expand on it. I can change it up a little bit, but there's always a way to make something work for you if it's something that you want to do. Making the videos, to me, with the just taking the tips and stuff, felt fun, right? I loved animating the little parts and picking out the photos and things like that. That felt fun for me. If it wasn't fun, and that's why I tried it, I was like, I'll do some of these. I'll see if I enjoy doing it. I'll see if I get any kind of traction. Are they going to perform well? I'm going to try it out, right? And I did, and I like it, and it felt fun. And I could do it while I'm watching TV. So that's kind of a bonus for me if I can sort of maximize my time in that way. Same goes for you. You can find something that works for you. So nurturing those leads, which is still talking about your business and finding out how to market as part of your personality. So it's not just about showing up. It's about what's the next step. So think about it which networking event am I going to show up at? Right? And that could be Instagram, it could be Facebook, it could be starting your own Facebook group, it could be a podcast, it could be anything you want. And then how am I going to nurture leads from there? And again, you want to do this in a way that feels really natural to you. Most of us, and that's why I'm sharing this kind of format or formula, because this doesn't mean that this is the way you should do it, but it's just nice to have an outline of something to get started. So you can let your curiosity come into play. Do I like this? Do I not like this? How can I make this mine? How can I do this in a way that feels really easy? And most of us who are service-based businesses, we love to give. That feels good to us. We love to share information. That feels really nice. So I think that this formula works really well. And what you want to do is write down exactly how you're going to market your business. So again, that part is where you're going to show up, wherever you want to. It's fine, doesn't matter. And then what specifically are you going to do to share with people who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and why it matters. So that can be posts, it can be Reels, it can be IGTV videos, it could be whatever it is. But think about it. Is it fine? Do I want to do this? Can I consistently show up in this way? Because if you feel I don't think so, then it's not the right thing for you. The third part of this is the nurturing of leads, because just showing up is not enough, right? if you build it, they will come thing, that's a load of BS. Like, it just doesn't really work that way. You have to do more. It's your job. It's not your potential client's job to track you down and like throw their money at you. It's your job to sell to them. And selling to them means telling them exactly what problem you solve, the results that you get, why they should work with you, and the next step. Like, you engage with them. And that's what the nurturing of the leads is. So, an easy way to do this is, let's say that you are looking for potential clients. Find some people, we'll just use Instagram, we'll just stick with that one, on Instagram who have the problem that you want to solve. Or, they're your ideal client. And I say problem, not that they write a specific post and they're like, I have this problem and I really need to hire somebody. But you want to look for someone who may potentially have this problem. So maybe this person has a podcast, like you're a person who does podcast edits and things like that. Get on Instagram, find like 10 people that you think, I would love to work with them. They have a podcast. I know that they regularly podcast, so they would need somebody to help them. I like their personality. It seems like a really good personality fit. I'd love to work with them. Do the thing where you introduce yourself just like you would in real life. So like some of their posts, leave some thoughtful comments, not like, this sounds great, or love it, or heart, amazing. Really leave something so that they're going to notice that you are interested in them. So think about, like, if you were trying to flirt with somebody. If you're just sitting across the room from them and just staring a hole in them, they're going to think, what is happening? They're not going to think, oh, this person likes me. It's on, right? They're going to be kind of like, they're either not going to notice you at all, or they're going to just not think anything, right? You got to walk over there. You got to engage. You got to make eye contact, all those kind of things. So that's what you want to do online too. So leave some thoughtful comments, make sure you like their post, and then take it a step further. So you really want to move the conversation out of the comments somewhere else. Depending on what business you have, what your person is doing, this can look a little bit different. So maybe they're talking about a specific topic and you send them a DM and say, I really love that post that you wrote. I really love that podcast. I love that you guys talked about A, B, and C. I would love to know more about X, Y, Z. So you're just starting a conversation about something. I mean, it's not, and you're not being fake, right? Like, you're genuinely offering them a compliment. You're interested. And then you would say, hey, I think that this group of people, or maybe this person, would be a really great guest for you. I'm a podcast editor. If you ever have any need for someone to edit your podcast, I'd love to work together. It really doesn't have to be more complicated than that. So that person may have an editor, and that's fine, but you're on their radar. So what if something happens and their editor can't handle the workload anymore? What if their editor decides they want to do something different? Like, you're on the radar. So you would then continue to engage with that person. It's not like, oh, well, they said no, let me drop it like a hot potato and I'm out of here. That's not how you build relationships. And relationships, I believe, they're not built just for whatever you want. Those kind of relationships don't last. An example of this is, I was looking at some different business coaches that I might want to work with. And this one coach, we had a call and I thought, like, this is a really good fit. But then some things happened and the timing was off. It wasn't something that I could really commit to at the time. And that particular person went from engaging with me online, sending me a check-in email, to absolutely nothing. And so when the timing was right, I didn't work with that person. I worked with another person, because to me, that was not really a relationship. And if I'm going to spend my money, especially with someone that I'm going to work very closely with for a long amount of time, I really want to feel like you care about me. I want to feel like you care about me as a person, as a business owner. I want to feel like you're invested. So when you are building relationships, just be real. Don't even start a relationship with someone that you're not genuinely interested in. So look for people that are your ideal client, meaning that they do something that you can help them with, right? They have a problem that you can solve, whether it be design, coaching, life coaching, whatever it is, and just start building a relationship with them. Show up online, leave thoughtful comments, start a conversation with them in the DMs, offer them some value. If you're a service-based provider, you probably have a ton of things, freebies, blog posts. Maybe you're a podcaster and you have a podcast that you could share. You've got tons of things that you could share to really help that person. Same thing works in a Facebook group. If someone is having a problem and they're asking for feedback, leave some feedback. Say, I've got a really great resource that helps a lot of people with the same exact problem. If you'd like for me to DM you, I'd love to share it with you. And doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel like, hey, I'm a real person, you're a real person, I'm just offering to help you without having to get anything in return. So you're really just trying to show up and build relationships and do it around your personality. I use those examples because that's a pretty common way to do that, especially if you're scared, that's a good place to start. If you are in a service-based business because you want to show up and serve people and help people, right? But maybe you're just not sure how to do that. Maybe you're unsure about how to start a conversation. Maybe you are looking at people who are in your field and they are doing all the reels and you're like, God, I don't want to do that. Is that what I have to do to grow my business and get clients? The answer is no. Any strategy works if you work it, but you really want to make sure that you're doing something that makes you feel excited. And you want to build relationships in a way that feel genuine and authentic. I mean, I have lots of people that get on simple strategy calls with me, and maybe it's not a good fit. Either not a good timing for them, maybe they're not a good fit for me as a client, but I genuinely care about them. I want to know how they're doing. I'll follow you online. I'll check you out and see, what you're doing, and I want you to give me an update. I just had a discovery call with someone this week, and she came in as a recommendation, but it was not a good fit because the kind of business that she wanted to start is not my expertise, but I knew who to send her to. And, when she gets a little bit farther down the road, we could definitely work together. And she said, can I send you an update? And I was like, yes, I would love for you to send me an update. So there's no specific way you have to do things. And don't be scared to just be yourself. Don't be scared to be yourself, because that's what people are attracted to. They want to feel like you care about them. And I know that if you are a person who is here to serve, that's not hard for you. That's not a challenge for you. You just maybe don't know how to go about it. Maybe you're shy. Like I said, maybe you're shy. Maybe you've tried other ways and it just didn't feel right, or you're trying to make yourself fit into some kind of category that is just not right for you. Huge dose of permission. Figure out what works for you. How do you like to build relationships? Where do you like to show up? And then I really love to make my clients write down exactly what they're going to do. I'm going to show up in Facebook groups. I'm going to look for people who I can offer advice to. Then I'm going to offer them additional value inside the DMs. Then I'm going to check back up with them in, 3 to 7 days and see if they like the resource that I sent them. Then I'm going to offer to get on a phone and have more conversation around this topic so that I can help them in a deeper, more meaningful way. After we're on the phone, I'm going to ask them if they would like to work together so that we could work even more on this specific problem. And usually when I tell people, like, this is the way we're going to lay it out, they feel like, whew, like that actually feels easy. It is a lot easier when you write it down. But again, you got to figure out, where do you like to show up? How do you like to build relationships? Because you want to do something that's going to feel really natural for you. And I highly recommend that you really think it out, like really play it out how each scenario would happen and write it down, because that's going to give you the confidence and the little bit of accountability, because it's all written down. You don't have to think like, oh, what do I do next? So it's been 2 days. Should I wait 3 days? Should I wait tomorrow? Or tell yourself like, it's probably too soon, right? And then you never get back with that person because you get scared. So you're following into that decision fatigue, or you're just giving yourself a lot of room to back out of something. So try these tips and see if it works for you. If you are liking this video, and I would just love to hear from you, where do you like to show up? Or how do you like to build relationships? Like, what's really working for you in particular right now?